Wow, what just happened last night when Mookie Betts and David Price both got traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers from the Boston Red Sox? Well, we gotta talk about that.
The bent, that's big views. Boarded the plane, won't be back to Maine. Now I can't camp it with you.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So long time no see. I apologize for the lack of content on this channel, and the reason for it is because I've had a lot of workload when I came back to college, and I haven't been able to stay as consistent as I expected to be on these YouTube videos and be able to spend as much time in the editing, in the video process, and also with everything that goes into these videos. And so I've been trying to do my best to make as much content on my Instagram and also my Twitter, and you can find both of those links in the description below and then also right up here. But so today I want to talk about the huge blockbuster trade that happened last night between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox, with the Red Sox sending Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers sending Alex Verdugo to the Red Sox, and there was a third team in the Twins sending Brusdar Graterol, who is a 20-year-old prospect. So before I forget, don't forget, go down and subscribe. I post new videos every single week, and I also do the same thing on my Instagram and also my Twitter, and that will be in the description box below. And then I also do a weekly Red Sox podcast talking about the biggest stories surrounding the Red Sox, and that will also be in the description box below. And I would really appreciate if you guys would check out either of those. And so rumors have been circulating around all throughout this offseason. Will Mookie Betts get traded? Will the Red Sox keep him? And especially with spring training just around the corner and 1 week away, it was a huge expectation that Mookie Betts would start in a Red Sox uniform starting opening day. And it was even said by Chaim Bloom that that was the expectation. But especially when it came out just a week ago that the Red Sox had offered Mookie Betts a 10-year, $300 million deal in an extension, and Mookie Betts countered with that with a 12-year, $420 million deal. And so that would put him at $35 million. His contract that he countered with, it would value him at $35 million, and that would be right at the salary that Mike Trout is getting at the moment. And so a lot of people believe that Mookie Betts is number 2 in the league in the best player, right under Mike Trout. And so a lot of people believe, especially with him having the agent in Scott Boras, who is always looking for the biggest deal in free agency, that he is going to get around 35 to maybe even $40 million, which would be absolutely nuts. But with his amount of skill set, in my opinion, he deserves that amount of money. So the two teams that everybody has been talking about for the Red Sox to be able to pair up with are the Padres and the Dodgers. And the reason for that, those two teams, is that they have the most payroll flexibility, and then they also have the highest and most valuable prospect capital. And it was talked about that a potential trade with Will Myers and Manuel Margot and a few different pitching prospects that would come from the Padres to the Red Sox. But it seemed like from the reports that came out that the Red Sox weren't really digging that deal and that they weren't really too interested. And then it really came out over these last 3 days that the Dodgers and the Red Sox were really heating up their talks and really getting into a lot more focused conversations. And the final deal is Alex Verdugo going to the Red Sox and Brusdar Graterol coming from the Twins to the Red Sox, and then Mookie Betts and David Price going to the Dodgers. And in my opinion, I think that this is a win-win for both teams, and especially the Dodgers. I mean, they're getting one of the best players in the league in Mookie Betts, but for only one more year. And then they don't really know what they're getting in David Price, because we saw it in 2018. David Price was so efficient, and he really helped the Red Sox win that 2018 World Series. But then over this last season, he was really struggling with injuries a ton. And he just wasn't able to really find his way on top and really find a way to get those runs lower than 3 to 4 each game. And that's why we saw his ERA get over 4 this last season. And so with how much of a cancer David Price has been over his career with the Red Sox, and especially with him having $96 million still left on his contract, that's one of the biggest reasons why the Red Sox wanted to offload both Mookie Betts and David Price's contracts. And so if you really look at the numbers, the Red Sox started the offseason with $236 million as their payroll, and then there was a 208 threshold for the luxury tax. And so their main goal was to get under the luxury tax threshold, because if they were a third-year offender, then they would get substantially more of a penalty for being over that luxury tax if they were over there this next offseason. And so their main goal was to try and get Mookie Betts and one of the big contracts like David Price, Nathan Eovaldi, or even Jackie Bradley off and offload those before the season started. And so especially with this deal, we see that the Dodgers are taking half of David Price's contract, and so that actually takes $48 million off of the books for this next season. So it's come out in multiple reports that the Red Sox, after this trade, now have $80 million to start next offseason to really spend to really help them get any sort of positional needs that they need to help them in 2021. And so a lot of people are freaking out, like the Red Sox got killed in this deal, like the Dodgers got so much better of a deal, the Red Sox didn't get as much value as we expected it to. But if you really think about it, with how much money David Price still has on his contract, not a lot of teams are going to be really interested in taking that contract, especially with how much of a personality and a risk that they're getting in a pitcher of David Price. And so it really just makes sense for this deal, because if you really think about it, the Red Sox throughout this entire offseason have been trying to find a team to match up with David Price, and it just shows with this deal that nobody was interested, and that the only way that the Red Sox could get rid of David Price and his contract was to team him up with the second best player in the league. And so when you really look at the players that the Red Sox are getting on their team back for Mookie Betts, I love the deal. With Alex Verdugo, I saw him in Tampa Bay doing batting practice, and he hit the ball farther than I've ever seen anybody hit a ball in Tropicana. And we even saw in 2018 with his full season in AAA, he hit 329 with 10 home runs and 44 RBIs in just 91 games. And then we saw last season in the MLB, he hit 294 with 12 home runs and 44 RBIs in just 106 games. So it'll be really interesting to see how his bat will really be able to be in Fenway Park, with it being such a hitter-friendly ballpark, and with a left-hander just being able to smack that ball over the monster. Oh my God, I am so excited for Verdugo to step into the plate at Fenway Park. And so he was a former top prospect, and there's going to be a lot of excitement with him being on the Red Sox, but I also feel bad because there's going to be a lot of pressure for him being the one player that came over to replace Mookie Betts. But I think that he is going to be a great asset for the Red Sox to come, especially since he has still 5 years left of control. So then we also have a top prospect coming from the Twins in Brusdar Graterol. So I tried my best to pronounce that name, and I even looked up different pronunciations, but this guy is no joke. He's only 20 years old, and last season he went from AA to the MLB in one season. One season. Like Chris Sale did that when he first got into the majors. He only played 11 games and then went right to the MLB. And this kid also just dominated in the minors. He was 7-0 with a 1.92 ERA in 18 games. And then he also went into the majors with a 1-1 record with a 4.66 ERA, but he only played 10 games and he came out of the bullpen. But that is still something to be very excited about, especially for only a 20-year-old. And so when you look at the pitches that this guy has, one of his main premier pitches is he's a 100-mile-per-hour sinker. 100 miles per hour. And so that pitch is usually like 85, 90 miles per hour, but this guy's able to throw it 100 miles per hour. And so it'll be really interesting to see if he'll be able to come up big and be that top tier, top of the line starter that everybody is hoping that he will be, or if he'll just be a back end bullpen guy. But either way, I was very excited about this return that the Red Sox did get from Mookie Betts, but in my opinion, if they didn't add David Price in this deal, they would have gotten so much more value and they would have gotten a lot better prospects, in my opinion. But I just think that this is the best time and the best deal for the Red Sox at this moment, especially now that they are under the threshold and that they are able to have a lot more flexibility with their financial situation. And so a lot of people are going to be giving Chaim Bloom a ton of crap, especially for his first move. But I think, like I just said, this is the best move for the Red Sox at this time. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about this subject with a writer from Bo Sox Injection on my podcast coming this Friday. And if you want to go down and listen to any of my other podcast episodes, go down in the description box below. The link will be right in there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate all the support. I hope you guys did like this video, so please give me a big thumbs up if you guys did. Comment down below what you guys think about this Mookie Betts trade. Who won, the Red Sox or the Dodgers? And do you think any of these players that the Red Sox did get are valuable assets that will be helpful for the future? And so also don't forget, go down and subscribe. I post new videos every single week. And then also follow my Instagram and my Twitter. Those will both be in the description box below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.
Hold up, wait until the whole team show up, yeah. I'm in Neverland, can't grow up.